thing I always wondered, at least when I was growing up, I didn't have as much guidance when it came to how to get into STEM. Like back in my time, damn, I sound old, but back in my time, you know, it was always pursue STEM, pursue STEM. That was the big push. Every black kid was pushed to go into STEM, and obviously we need representation in the field. But one thing that was not told to me is what do I need to do to prepare myself for that field, or
Mm.
what kind of things what kind of classes to take, or um, what kind of skill sets will I need for myself, you know. And I think we should probably talk on that, for future generations. If you're looking to get into STEM, but we should also define what STEM is, because I don't know if everybody know what the initialisms or the acronym means. So we probably should define that, but we need to also talk about how to get into it, what kind of skill sets they might need and stuff like that.
Okay. I'll let the guest.
Yeah, man. STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So it's STEM, as you can see behind wanted there. Yeah, that's right. So it's all about being able to use these very particular and related skill sets that would help us, either answer big questions or help us live better lives and advance human advance human society. And probably not just human society, but globally, we'll be able to advance our society, our environment, and our relationship, with our planet and hopefully the universe as well. In terms of what skill sets you would need to study STEM, I mean, I think everybody needs to have these skill sets. Not everybody is going to be interested in STEM though, but these particular skill sets, what we need to start encouraging in people from as young as possible. The ability to read is, basic, but you need that in STEM. That's going to be something that we need to encourage our people to do. Read things that, not just, would be entertaining for you, but things that will be educational as well. Read about things and really try to understand the message that people is trying to communicate to you. I think that's a basic level skill that you need. A little bit more advanced than that, you need to be able to be good with numbers. We need to encourage people to use mathematics because we use it all the time. I mean, of course, with money, people think about math and money all the time. But, I always tell people one of the things that we do in forensic science, in particular, crime scene investigation, we use trigonometry and we use it to figure out distances between things. Because it turns out that you can't just take a million measurements at a crime scene, but you want to know accurately where things are. You could use trigonometry to help you do that. You could use the Pythagorean theorem to help you do that. But get good with numbers, get comfortable with numeracy, and understanding these very basic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, because these will be things that you could use all the time, depending on all the things that you do. If you have children, I'm pretty sure that, dividing up food between your children or dividing snacks or things like a cake, when you do that, you're using mathematics. If you have 4 children, you can't just cut the cake in 3 pieces and get each of them 1 piece. Obviously you're going to cut it into 4 pieces, and how do you decide, who might get a bigger piece than whom? That again, mathematics and numeracy, these are the skills that we use. Yeah. So, reading, understanding information, using numbers or numeracy, and then lastly, what I would say is another skill set we need to encourage. I would definitely say, just curiosity. Encourage people to ask questions. I mean, I was always asking questions as a child. I annoyed my father doing that. And I'm still asking questions to this day, and I got really meta with it at some point because I was getting all these answers from, my father and all these other people from questions that I asked. And then one of my questions was like, how do I know you're giving me the right answer? Or how do I know that this answer is the best answer? That was really meta. And that was really what spurred my, my study of science, being able to give people better answers or the best possible answer. Because my belief is that when we have good answers to our questions or the best possible answer, that's when we can make the best possible decisions. And those have a lot of other benefits for us. But definitely in terms of studying STEM, you know, fundamental skills is reading, numeracy, and just that propensity to continue asking questions. Because there'll always be more questions than answers. At least that's what I believe. But with those questions, that's when we could start looking for the evidence to try and find better answers or the best possible answers.
Wow. You
Yeah,
answered that one.
I agree. That's perfect. That's a perfect answer. Oh no, am I frozen?
No, you good.
Okay, good. So to add on to that, I think one thing that future generations should know is once you get a degree, that's not the end of the story. The degree is not going to guarantee the job. That's one thing that I did not know. I thought so. I went in as a bioengineer, and then because I didn't like math and I didn't like school, it's weird because as a smart person, you would think that I love school, but I did not like school. Uh, so I decided, okay, I'm going to stop bioengineering. I'm just going to do math because I want to graduate next year, or I want to graduate this year rather. And if I stay in bioengineering, I have to stay for an extra year. And I didn't want to stay for extra years. So I just took a math degree. And that sounds silly because most people will be like, you took like the math degree was the one that you just say, okay, I'm gonna just take this and leave. Like most people would never be interested in doing math, especially when it comes down to theory. But when I graduated, I thought, okay, I'm gonna move to America and I'm gonna get a job. Like I just have to send an application. Hey guys, I got my math degree, hire me up. That was not how it went. So some other skills I think should be added on while you're in school or even before you get to school is try your best to get some experience in the field of interest. If that means doing a fellowship or doing a summer program or something like that, try your best to do those things. A lot of times it's very competitive. And I know if you have ADHD or if you have some other thing like even self doubt, you might feel, well, I shouldn't bother try. I might not be as good as everybody else. I would say, even then, still try. Because the worst thing you could do is not take a shot. You miss all the shots you don't take. And I know that's a cliche statement, but it's definitely true for me. For instance, the job I'm in now, I was not going to apply because I didn't like how my resume looked. I was like, I could do better. My wife was like, just submit the resume you have because I think it's good. And you could always continue working on it after you apply for the job. And I applied and I got the job. And I was surprised. I was like, dang, I didn't feel like my resume was good enough, but it was. So a lot of times we don't go for things because we don't feel like it's like we're good enough or we feel like we could do better. We always feel like we could do better. I think that's a human symptom, a symptom of being a human. You always feel like you could do better, but still just go ahead and apply. And then the other thing I would say is, what was the other thing I was going to say? So, get work experience. And I would say, while you're in school, really have a plan about what you want to do. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know exactly what I wanted. Luckily, I knew I was interested in programming. And luckily, the field that I'm in does have a level of programming. But before I took a summer research experience for undergraduates, I didn't even know this field existed. So luckily, I had a professor who told me, "Hey, you should go apply for this thing and check it out." And I did. And thanks to him, I would say a big thanks to him. I can't say his name. I don't remember it because I forget names. But thanks to him, I got into it. I loved it was biostatistics. I love biostatistics. And then from there, I transitioned into pursuing a biostatistics/epidemiology career. And that's where I'm at now. So that's what I would say. Oh wait, there was something else I wanted to say, but I'll think on it more while somebody else talks.
I think an important thing to mention as well is that even though you have a plan, I would say personally, don't stick to that plan to the T, because then if it doesn't go according to plan, then you get disappointed and you could turn away. But I think the more important thing is that if your plan is a little bit less rigid, when a change comes, you're more willing to accept that change. And that change could be the thing that actually is what you want to do. Like, let's say you want to do mathematics and you go into it and it's okay, but then a door opens up for you to do something like cellular biology and you just dabble there for a little bit and you're like, wow, I like this more than I thought I did. And I don't really like math as much as I like this. So now you're actually doing a career that you love and enjoy. And that brings more fulfillment than trying to stick to this rigid plan that you thought was the way to go. And I also feel that you need to be open to criticism and you need to find people who know more than you that'll be able to guide you in the right direction that you need to go. Because they might be able to see that you like cellular biology more than you like mathematics, and you won't be able to see it yourself. So having those people there to guide you is really important as well. And I think each of us have had somebody in our lives who's known more than us, like kind of nudge us in the right direction every now and then allow us to find it ourselves that, hey, we probably need to be doing this instead of this. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I appreciate all that advice because the truth is, if you don't have a plan or if you're not strategic in your career, like from as early as you can be, you're really gonna end up having some issues at some point along the road that will probably derail, every every motivation that you ever had in terms of pursuing this particular career. Because hard times will come, absolutely. And that's why it's important, like Wanted said, be flexible, have your plan, but understand that when these opportunities come, right now you might feel like, it's not an opportunity, it's a roadblock, but, it's just a simple change of thinking, in terms of, readjusting yourself and your whole plan, in terms of taking the full advantage of where you're at in the particular journey. So definitely, pursuing a career in STEM, I think it can be very fruitful. I've done so many amazing things, a lot of things that I'm probably not going to have time to tell you guys about, but, so many different things. And it was all because, when I had the opportunity to get that job, the first job that I ever got after I got all my degrees, was not the job that I wanted, was not in the place that I wanted to be. But, every single time, anything new was offered to me, I just said, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do the best that I can do. And I think that really is the lesson for all of us, like there's going to be different things that come up. There's going to be things that you don't want, at least on the face value of it, but try your best anyway, because, the truth is it can be very fruitful. So yeah, excellent advice from these two guys here, man. Mino and Wanted.